Hello and welcome, Mark here, and in this episode we're going to continue with the basics of knitting. And as you can see before me, I have 3 samples, and what we're going to do this week is casting off. The first one we're going to be casting off on is the garter stitch. This one's going to be worked as a knit casting off. This one was the stocking stitch. We're going to be casting off in the Pearlwise with that one. And this one is the moss stitch. And in this one we're going to be casting off in pattern. Nothing fancy, just casting off, but just showing you the different ways you can do it. Okay, so let's get crafting, shall we? Right. We've got the garter stitch here ready, and we're going to be casting off. Get some yarn, and we're going to be casting off knitwise. So you go in as to knit. So before you can even cast off your first stitch, you've got to actually make 2 knit stitches. There's 1 and 2. And then you simply take your left needle under that first stitch, lift it up and off, and leaving the second stitch on there. Then you would knit the next stitch and then do the same process. Lift the first one up, over and off. And this is casting off knitwise. There you are. See, look, we've already done quite a few stitches already. So remember, you just do a normal knit stitch, and then you just take your left needle under the first stitch, lift it up, slide it up, over and off the needle. But don't take both of the stitches off. And that is casting off knitwise. There you go. And it leaves a lovely little stitch of bees across the top. Don't know if you can see that. And that's what that does. So that is casting off knitwise. There we go. Next up, we're going to be casting off Pearlwise. Right, there we are. So now I've got the yarn on the right side. So we've got the pearl bumps showing here, so we can cast off Pearlwise. You're not doing anything really different apart from the way you work your stitches. So you will purl the first 2 stitches, and then you will take this front loop up and off the needle. Now some people will say when you're working a pearl cast off, you take the yarn to the back, then lift it up, bring it off, bring the yarn back to the back, back to the front, purl the next stitch, take the yarn back to the back, just so it's out of the way, and do it like that. But then you have to keep remembering to bring the yarn forward Sometimes I don't even do that, I just do this. Leave the yarn at the back. So I drop the yarn down the front. I can't even talk today again. And then the yarn's always is the right side. And that's how I normally do it. Because if I keep bringing it forward, then I'll probably end up working in it, and then it looks a bit odd. But that's just me. So you're not doing anything really different apart from your purling. Okay, you're just doing a purl stitch. Still grabbing that first of the 2 stitches, lift it up and off, and there you go. Bring the yarn down out the way. I like to keep it at the front rather than messing about taking it back and forth. You can do that, it's up to you, but I just have the personal preference of doing it this way. I look like I'm all fingers and thumbs because I'm working around the camera. I'm trying to make sure I don't drop the stitch off when I'm casting off. And look, we've taken this one all the way to the end. Look at that. And there you go. That's casting off. And with that, then you would just cut your yarn and thread it through the loop and then fasten off. But there you go. That is casting off. Pearlwise, it looks like a bunch of V's at the front going that way. But it still gives you a nice clean edge. There we go. So, next up is casting off in pattern. Casting off in pattern. It's not as scary as it sounds, it's quite easy really. Just doing the same things as what we've done before. We do a knit and we do a purl cast off. So remember, you still have to work 2 stitches first before you can cast off. Now this is the moss stitch, so it's a knit one, purl one, and then with this you can take the yarn to the back, lift this up, take that one off, and because the yarn's already at the back, it's ready for the next stitch. And up, over and off. Now the next stitch will be a purl, so you have to bring the yarn to the front, work the purl, take the yarn to the back, and then lift that first stitch up, over and off. So keep the yarn to the back because the next stitch is a knit. There. So then you have to bring it forward because the next stitch needs to be a purl. So the yarn's already at the back waiting to do the next stitch, which was a knit. The next stitch is a purl, so we have to bring the yarn forward to work that purl. Take it back to the back, cast it off. And this is knitting, casting off in pattern. Then bring the yarn forward, because it's a purl. Turn the yarn back to the back. And then the last stitch is a knit, and there you go. And that is casting off in pattern. And all that does, it works this top last row in pattern and casts off at the same time. And it's also quite a bit more looser as well. You get a little bit more stretch with it when you cast off in pattern. And it doesn't look any different. You got a nice selection of V's going across the top, which is a nice, they're all a nice size as well. So there you go. And that's casting off in pattern. So, I hope you enjoyed watching this video. I hope it was very informative for you. Right, thank you for watching. And if you like this video, then please give me a thumbs up. Why don't you subscribe? Ring that notification bell. You won't miss any more videos. And until next time, here on Marks Makes. Bye.